Okay, so quick little 5-10 minute video how to produce these postcards. So they're little watercolour, then with pen studies with some kind of inspirational quotes on them. Okay, so I've got some A4 sort of fairly thick cartridge paper. You could use some white card, or you could buy online some ready-made cards, but you need something thick, so not like paper you'd use in your printer. It would be a bit too wrinkly at the end. Okay, so I'm just going to cut mine into 4 equal parts. I'm just going to quickly fold. I mean, you can measure this, but I'm just doing it quickly. A little fold either end. You could then, so I've got a knife and a Stanley knife and a set square, so I'm just going to cut it so I've got 4 equal pieces of paper or card. Right. Okay, obviously make sure if you're using a knife that you've got a mat or like a cutting board underneath you. So 4 pieces. Okay, so next things you're going to need, I'm just going to try and whiz through this, a selection of brushes. So I've got all sorts of things, like nice brushes, but some just kind of old cruddy ones. I've got like old toothbrush that's quite good for making different marks. I've got a set of watercolour paints. If you've not got watercolours, you could use something like, I mean, you could use acrylics, you wouldn't get the same effect, but you could use food colouring, would work pretty much in the same sort of way. Okay, also need a pot of water. Okay, so need to take the water, just wet. We're going to be doing like a frame around the edge of the card. So wet the frame, or wet the edge of your piece of paper, and then with another brush, doesn't really matter what, with your watercolours, I'm going to try and put these so you can see them. So I'm using a sort of decent amount of water on my brush, and I'm just going to start putting some colour down, and you can see where the water has been applied. First of all, you get these nice kind of the pigment spreads, and what will then happen now, you can see here, obviously it's dried a bit, so it's not actually spreading that much, but that's not a problem. And what I could then start doing is just putting on top of my key to this is to work fairly quickly. So that's totally random, you see, but we can then work on top of it. Might put a bit of yellow there. Once it's dried, we can then work on top of it with pen. Okay, I can do another quick one. I'm just a bit mindful that I don't want to make this video too long. So again, around the edge. This one I'm going to do something a bit more kind of structured. So the theme of all the rainbows for the NHS, I'm going to do some kind of rainbow heart motifs. You can see this one here, it's kind of bled quite a lot, but actually I quite like that effect. You'll be able to control that sort of thing kind of as your work progresses. Right. yellow. Might do a bit of green. Could do like rainbow colour theme. But the thing about this is really just to play around. So I'm just showing you a technique wet on wet. So you're using wet paint on wet paper. But you could obviously, with a bit, you know, you could do some dry paint techniques. Right, so just quickly, I might just get my, so just do a wash in the middle. So I just want lots of water. There we are. Okay, so I'm going to leave that to the side to dry. What I have done, kind of in the style of Blue Peter, is a little one that I did earlier. So this was done exactly the same technique. But what I'm going to do now, so this has had a chance mostly to dry, still a bit damp. I'm going to maybe, I'm trying to think what I can do. I'm going to do some painting over this. So you can see, because my paper is dry, it's not moving. So it's not about just covering, it's not about covering up everything that I've done before. It's about kind of adding to it and just here we are. I'm just going to do this quickly. Bit of red. You're honoured. This is my first ever video. I don't know whether I'm going to watch it back. Okay, I'm going to do a bit of yellow, and then I'll just quickly talk you through some of the lettering that you could do. So on my lettering, I've used, I kind of went online and I tried to find some quotes from Florence Nightingale, because obviously she's really relevant at the moment. I tried to find some quotes about nurses, but really you can use any kind of quote you want, like, you know, make every day count, anything, like, just could be like your family motto. The possibilities are endless. Right, okay, so I've done that, so painted over it. Now what I've got here, so on my examples, so you can see this one, which is probably the most complex one. I've if I show them up, I've done lots of little patterns and things like on top of my dried things. So I'll talk to you about that in a minute, but what I want to do is talk about this thing. So I've done a stay safe one, which is obviously relevant. So if you're not confident in kind of how it looks, just sketch it out in pencil first of all. At this stage, just keep your pencil lines like almost invisible. You can get some ideas for styles of writing online. So I've just made a spelling mistake. Oh dear. Okay, ignore that bit. I'm going to amend that in a minute. Okay, so these ones I've done, basically made my letters out of, you can see, tiny little dots. Okay, so you could do something like that. I'm going to do this one slightly differently. I'm going to do like crosshatch letters. So that's basically where you using lots of lines, so going in one direction and then I think this is just a bit more effective than just a solid line. Also, you can kind of cover up your mistakes a little bit easier. So all going diagonally in one direction they are. And then just swizzle around. But these are really nice little things. I've done a few, and what am I going to do? I'm going to send them. Well, I think, do you know what I'm going to do? I think I'm going to send them to friends and family that I kind of don't really see. Or not that I see anyone at the moment, but that maybe I don't even see under normal circumstances. It's just a really nice thing quite a nice thing to get something nice through the post rather than just a bill. So here's the one where I don't know what I was trying to write on my second word, but I'm going to change my elongated A into a slightly more legible version. So the advantage of doing something, I'm going to get rid of that. How am I going to do my E? I'm going to do my E like this. But the advantage of doing light pencil work is if you do make mistakes, which obviously I've demonstrated exactly how to make a mistake, you can easily get rid of it. Right, okay, hang on. You can obviously spend, I mean, I spent on my other Stay Safe one, I probably spent about an hour start to finish on that, but you know, it's good to get lost in something nice. So then the other thing you can do is work some pens. So this is just like a fine liner pen, but you could use like a pencil or colour pencils. But you can just work like some patterns. So I love a little circle. I spent a whole year at university, all my work was just circles. So yeah, so little circles. You could do maybe some zigzags. And then you can maybe like cross hatch in the middle. And I might do some cross hatching in the edge. So like I said before, it's not about covering up what you've done, it's just about kind of thinking about how the thing works together. Look, I'll do that up as a close-up, can you see? Alright, so it's not finished, but I don't want to go on for too long. I've already been blabbering on for long enough. But yeah, so quick watercolour tutorial, postcard, pop a little stamp on the back, write a lovely little message, send it to someone you love.